Greetings, Senpai. I was just thinking of like you. Do you have time right now? Man, no. No, because I want... You know what? I actually... When I said I didn't max out Yusuke, I didn't actually... Okay, pressing all the wrong buttons. I just do that a lot. You know, I get mired in what I'm talking about, and it doesn't even take that. Sometimes when I'm playing games, I just do that. I just press all the wrong buttons, even if I've played the game forever, in order to do what I'm trying to do, and I don't know why. Does anyone else do that? Or maybe it's just my ADHD, or whatever other mental thing that might be causing that talking there when I do that. Anyway, it's the square button, Derg. One of these days it'd be cool if I just naturally did that. I think I might be getting there, because I feel like I'm less brain dead when I practice, you know, when I play gaming, you know, gradually, more of the time, and it feels really good. But anyway, confident. I think all it really does take is slowing down, especially because in more and more modern games, including this one specifically, there's always prompts on the bottom. So I could look, instead of just automatically pressing whatever I want to press for whatever the fuck reason. Actually, it might have been triangle that actually did this, and I pressed square initially. I feel like triangle is the thing that opens this menu, but it actually might not be. We'll see. Okay. Confidant. Yeah, Yusuke's still 9. He's not... Okay, so... Do I have an Emperor persona? No. That's probably the reason that he's taken so long. I feel like he's taken so long, and I think the reason was... I just forgot, for a large swath of this Let's Play, to have an Emperor persona, to make sure I had one. I don't know why, I just... You know, I think I kind of do. That period of my life was just... I was very mentally... that whole time. And again... Well, that's another example of how, regardless of how practiced I am at something like playing Persona 5 and these kind of games, because God, so much, no matter how practiced I am at them, there are times where I will just, especially forgetting details, and forgetting to be aware of and think about certain details that I know are important when I remember them, is another thing that tends to happen. But it might also have something to do with just not enough practice, I don't know. It's probably less that, especially because I love playing these games, and more... I feel like I'm learning to curb that better and better all the time, and that I make less of those kinds of mistakes. Especially because more and more of the time I tend to really work on slowing down more, being more aware, being more focused, and I'm able to do that slowly, and that feels really good. But anyway, time to go to the Velvet Room and get ourselves an Emperor persona. I'm also, before I do that though, menu is triangle. I was not tripping. I just wasn't pressing triangle when I thought I was earlier. I think I was pressing square. Really confident. Yep, he is Emperor. Okay, cool. I will say I think it's pretty creepy that, we have BDSM lollies for jailers. That's literally what these two are. Well, I mean, I guess Caroline is more leaning in that direction. I mean, Justine also sort of has tinges of it too. It's like a good cop, bad cop sort of a thing they've got going. And I think that was the intention as well. But anyway.
You certainly seem composed.
I feel like the more that I actually, I practice, really paying attention to these games for y'all, in order to really provide, hopefully thoughtful, interesting, engaging commentary, the kind that I love. Which is why I strive so much to provide that. I do feel like I just notice and realize things that I never did before, because I'm deliberately trying to. Because again, I didn't feel like I had as much of a reason to before, and it's awesome to see that kind of a thing. This is another example of something I've noticed about myself, that I think is a very good thing. I've started to understand that in order to really get anywhere with anything, I need a reason bigger than myself. More than a lot of people do. And what I mean by that is it can't just benefit me. It can't be, okay, I'm going to go to college so that I can have a job so that I can be financially secure. That's what a lot of people do with their 20s, right? I'm 26 and I'm still living with my parents because college felt wrong. And it also was extremely difficult for me and not friendly to my mental conditions at all. And I just dropped out and... Hell, high school, I only graduated high school because there was a really good special ed program in my high school, and I'm very grateful to those people. Because I could not, for example, do math. I couldn't get to Algebra 2. But then in college, they basically required me to get through math, and math was higher than I ever was able to even get to the point of comprehending, so... yeah. Anyway. Welcome to my Velvet Room. What did you need today? I need an Emperor persona, which means I want to just register and summon, or summon specifically. By Arcana, Emperor Barong, because it's the highest level.
A fee is required.
Go ahead. Alright, cool. So there we are. Got an Emperor. So let us...
What?
Do I want to go back of Dumo Frick, yeah. By the way, I'm just gonna kind of get in the habit of this. Okay, yeah, I still have Yamatonoro Orochi as my #1 mask. I don't know why exactly it changes sometimes. I feel like sometimes the Velvet Room changes what persona you have equipped at the time, and sometimes it does not, like in that case. But I do have Barong now, right? Let me make 100% certain. Yeah, 56, Barong, and he is Emperor as well, which I also wanted to double check. Or they are Emperor? I'm not sure what kind of... I'm not sure what gender, if at all, Barong has. Anyway. All I know is they're an interesting sheep-dog creature thing? Whatever, I'm not sure exactly. I'd have to look at them and actually think. Which I might do later, but anyway, maybe not on camera either. Words. Okay, what am I doing? I was looking for... oh yeah, that's right. I was looking for... first of all, Yusuke might not even be available, but he is who I want to focus on. But if he's not available, I will go in here and I will grab whoever I end up actually hanging out, which will be Futaba, who I do believe is Hermit. But we shall see, because party member, and start her off. But that depends on if... oh yeah, no. He would be in the underground walkway, right? So yeah, he is not available because... I don't know why I'm looking, because it would say... who should I spend time with if he was here? I'm pretty sure he would be right here, right? If he was here, but he is not. I'm pretty sure. Oh well. Alright, so... that is for when he's available, but he is not available because I'm pretty sure he would still be here, right? I hope so. But yeah, that means Futaba, and I'm gonna double check what she is first. Yeah, she is Hermit, so I'm gonna go grab a Hermit persona. Highest level one I can grab.
You certainly seem composed.
Welcome to my Velvet Room. What do you need today?
Time for some rehabilitation. Let's execute fusion.
Let's execute fusion. Wait, no. I always go to fusion first because, you know, that's probably just my knee-jerk reaction because that's normally what I end up being here for more than anything. But I'm not here for that right now. I'm here to grab a Hermit persona specifically. There we go. Komokuten?
Is this what you want? You'll withdraw this persona?
Not sure if that is accurate Japanese whatsoever. If anyone of you know, let me know.
This is your power.
Alright, so there's that.
What?
I want to go back, then hang out with our gremlin friendo Futaba, who I love very much, but I probably won't ever romance as much as I love her as a character, just because, I don't know, it feels a little odd. And it feels more like she's more of a little sister type character, and the you know, or she's just more like of just a, you know, it feels almost like a parental or a sister-ish relationship, you know, to me. So it feels really weird, you know, romancing her. Whereas Makoto, I feel like we're on a level playing field. Haru, I also feel like we're on a level playing field. Kasumi, I kind of feel like we're on a level playing field. She is younger than us, but only by like a year. So And also, you know, like, I don't know. But then, like, and then there's other weird ones, like, Kawakami, just because, you know, the teacher-student taboo thing and the maid thing, it's very strange. It's very odd, and I won't romance her as much as I honestly think she's pretty damn hot, actually. And I really like just her messy hair, and kind of, she does sort of remind me of how I would probably be if I had to do a normal job like she does. To, like, just, you know, her cynical outlook, you know. Anyway. What's the plan for today? Have you already decided? Because, you know, there's times where I had to do a normal job, and I had a very similar attitude to how she does. Anyway, but, you know, I am much happier being at home with an uncertain financial future while I'm still secure with my parents, while I work on doing things that I love for hopefully a living, you know? And also work on my mental stuff at my own pace that doesn't feel rushed at all, which helps me to work through all the emotional bullshit, which is difficult in and of itself, to be able to do it at my own pace. But I know I'm on borrowed time here, because I know that the financial security that I have under my dad could be yanked out from under me at any given point in time, because of things I don't really want to go into right now. But, yeah, anyway. You know, at this point, I've been okay with working at my own pace until the times where I'm once again overwhelmed by all of this negative self-talk in my head, which I'm getting way better more all the time working on. All I know is that once upon a time, doing something like YouTube, which might get me somewhere in life, was never something I could have done before. This is much better than how I was doing before, where I was hiding and not doing anything that could get me anywhere but right in front of my computer in my parents' house. So, progress, man. Feels good. And that's probably another reason. She reminds me so much of myself. It's almost like dating yourself, and that's a weird concept. I don't know. And like, it's less like that. It's more like, what's the word? It's less like that, and it's more like she'd be too similar to me, and we just clash a lot, because I've actually had a couple relationships like that already, and they're not pretty. Actually, it's really interesting. If someone's really similar to you, it's weird, but you end up bickering a lot. I can't explain why. It just happens. Anyway. The things that come up, you know that they only come up because you have so many similarities. But it's like, because you have so many similarities, all of your differences are more acute or something. I don't know, it's very strange and interesting. And that's the other reason why I don't know if I don't think I would date Futaba at all if I was... I mean, of course, again, she's fucking 15 and I'm over 18, but if she was over 18 as well, I wouldn't date her either anyway, just because I mean, if I had a similar relationship to her, that Joker does, I would like to keep being that friend for her, because she clearly needs that right now. And also, someone that just came out of being a recluse for that long, and the emotional stuff that she's had, she does not need a romantic relationship. She needs to work on herself before a romantic relationship isn't going to destroy her. And that's speaking from experience, because again, I really get where she's coming from, because I am also a freaking shut-in right now to a degree. Not to the degree she is, by a long shot. I go out and do stuff, but not very often at all. Anyway. Sounds like Futaba's standing outside LeBlanc again today. And I also go outside every day and bike around my neighborhood and stuff. But that's mostly the extent of the fresh air that I get, other than, like, occasionally going and doing something. And most of the time, the doing something is chores and other things that need to happen. You know, errands and things. And actually going somewhere to, like, if I want to have fun, I get on my computer. That's just... And generally, I'm happy in front of this damn computer. I love technology and the internet so much. And it's such a haven for me. Anyway, sounds like Futaba's standing outside LeBlanc again today. We'll go see her for a bit? Go right away. Roger that. Let's start her confidant out.
Hey!
We haven't gathered any info on the cat abductions, have we? Let's try asking people around town. Around town. If anyone knows what that reference is from, you're probably a 90s kid like I was.
Yo.
We've just got to wait for our scheduled day now. For a scheduled day now. Oh, that's right. Well, sorry about what happened in Akihabara. I really messed up. Futaba, hug. I really feel her, because I've also had panic attacks in public. Like, if you are like this, if you're an anxious person who ends up being a shut-in, especially if, like, think about Futaba's situation. She ended up shutting herself in because of all these people. They called her a murderer and shit. And fabricated this lie and placed blame on this poor, already broken girl. You know, this poor girl that just lost her mother in order to cover up their evil bullshit and keep making money and having their own, you know, higher positions in society. They decided to just shuffle all this blame on this girl and give her more emotional baggage. Fuck you, people. Fuck you. Anyway, sorry about what happened in Akihabara. I really messed up. Futaba looks really depressed. Maybe we should cheer her up. Hell yeah, we will. I should be able to find the words to comfort Futaba with my current level of kindness. Hecky! It's very nice having maxed out everything, because now I know I won't have to worry about these social skill, about these, what are they called? I keep forgetting what they're called. Your skills, your, like, life skills or whatever you call it. I forget what they have a name. I just forgot entirely what the name was, but anyway, you know what I mean. These, you know, these walls of, oh, you need this much kindness or this much knowledge or whatever. I won't have to worry about this anymore. That'll be very, very nice. It is already very, very nice. This may be a good opportunity to deepen my bond with her. Heck yeah. That police officer, he was a way higher level than me. I love how she relates everything back to gaming. And I know it's probably like a fan service to gamers thing. And also like an endearing thing of, oh, she's a gamer girl, you know. But I also feel like it's kind of realistic. If most of what she did for these past few years is play games and do other things on the internet, and on her computer, it makes a lot of sense that she'd relate so many things back to games, because that's what she knows, right? A little bit more than a lot of other people, I would say. Even someone like me. Anyway. Just take things slowly. Yeah, that's the fucking key. Because taking things slowly is why I was able to muster the courage to get out here on the internet and post videos for people to possibly post mean comments on and that kind of thing. Because I know that's coming, and dislikes and all that. But I'm able to deal with it now, the possibility. And thankfully, there hasn't been much of that yet, but I know that the more traction I gain, the more possibility that stuff is going to happen, and that's okay. I've literally decided that's okay. Now, when it actually is in my face, it's going to be a challenge to deal with, but at this point, I've decided, okay, I'm going to let myself deal with those things, and I can deal with those things, and it's better than dealing with the crippling depression of being a useless piece of crap that isn't doing anything for society. Because as much as I still have this knee-jerk reaction to play the victim and decide that the reason that I haven't done much with my life yet is because of other people, or because the world doesn't accommodate people like me well, it definitely makes it harder because of those things, yes. But it's not the sole reason. The other reason is I was not willing until very recently to start working on how I can fit into this world anyway. And it's certainly happening slowly. You know, as much as I didn't think it was possible before. And again, another reason why I relate to Futaba so heavily is because her arc is her going through that same damn thing. Many hugs. Just take things slowly. Yeah, I guess you're right. I mean, I still managed to buy some stuff after that. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Futaba, you're doing fine. But that was only because you were there. Oh. Anyways, and again, I think, again, like, when she says stuff like, oh, it's only because you were there, you want to be my key item, like, she has such a older brother relationship to you. It feels really awkward to me to, like, think of the fact that you can romance her and possibly end up having sex with her, depending on how you interpret her scene, right? Because it could literally just not be sex, but the way those scenes are worded, it seems pretty heavily implied that sex is what they're talking about. But the only one I can think of off the top of my head is Makoto's, because I don't think that's the only one I've seen. I think I've seen On's before too, but that was years ago when I played this game, like, on fast forward just for a second playthrough on the original Persona 5. But yeah, anyway. Can we go up to your room? I want to talk to you some more. Sure. I feel like although granted, despite what I just said, there is a lot of dialogue in Futaba specifically that really does seem to have possibly romantic connotations, or you could take it as she's already got a crush on you. And it does sort of make sense, especially because, this, like, okay, yeah, like, I can see that, but it really might just be she has a very fondness for you that could be taken as a very platonic thing. But I think the intention might be more of a romantic-like. I think it probably is, just because of the nature of these games, but anywho. And again, I kind of feel bad that I don't want to romance her if that is the case, but I choose to interpret it more as a brother-sister thing, because that's less awkward to me to think about it. It does also feel like it could go both ways. But I feel like there's heavy implications that she's already got a crush on you at this point, because you saved her, which does make some sense. Anyway, I feel like my bond with Futaba will go stronger soon. Yeah, it's good to take a break every so often. Do you want to hang out with Futaba? Heck yeah!
Alright.
Okay, let's go, Dergy. Yeah! Let's go, Futaba. Aw. The little hum is very cute. I love... The voice actors in this game, for the main cast, do such a stellar job in general. Similarly in Persona 5 Strikers as well. Especially because I know they had to record that in their closets during the pandemic. And it turned out... The voice acting turned out amazingly despite that, and just having to adjust to such a new way of thinking with all this new environment to worry about, and they actually had to worry about the tech side of things for the first time, and all sorts of complications, but the voice acting turned out great. You can definitely tell audibly that it was recorded in different environments. That doesn't really detract from the game much. I feel like it does detract from the immersion a tiny bit, but that doesn't make me enjoy the game any less, really. It's really just because, again, having that consistent sound, it's a lot harder than you think it is, because in these games, usually you just hear that. But that's because they're all recording in the same booth, normally, in a studio, when, there isn't a fucking pandemic of this degree going around, But thankfully, COVID shots are working, and more people are getting them, and, it seems very possible that COVID will be about as distant a memory as the bubonic plague not too long from now, and that'll be very nice. Anyway, I think I want to try going somewhere else sometime. Yeah, that's a spirit, Futaba. I'll help you out. Really sounds like Sojiro wants me to go back to school. Yeah, the thing, though, is... Hasn't she been doing online classes this whole time? Or, has she been able to literally just dodge education? Is that even legal in Japan? Because it's not really legal here. You're not really allowed to do that in America, as far as I remember. I mean, I went through public school the whole time. And as far as I know, she could have been taking online school that whole time. I don't actually know, though. But online class... Oh, never mind. Okay, yeah, there we go. There we go. Oh, online classes are better for studying. I wouldn't even have to leave. Okay, so I thought that the reason she said that was because she's already doing them. It actually sounds like she hasn't been in school at all. I guess he was just able to dodge the law about that, although I don't know if it's literally... I don't know, man. Let me know how that works in Japan, and if you know anyone who literally didn't have schooling in America or Japan, and were able to get away with that, let me know, because I don't know, it just, like, over here, it seems drilled into us that you have to go to school by law, kind of a thing. And I definitely feel like if I didn't go to school, I'd probably be worse off socially than I am, even, maybe. But, anyway. I wouldn't solve anything, though, as much as I understand why she's so adamant about staying in her comfort zone, because that room is her motherfucking sanctuary, to a degree much greater than my own room, which also does provide me some comfort for sure, but for her it must be so much more acute because of just everything she's gone through. It wouldn't solve anything, though. You're probably right. Just studying by myself is way different from actual school. Plus, again, it's exposure. And if you go to Shujin Academy, if she goes to Shujin Academy and we're still there, like, she'd be going next year, right? And then, we'd be able to help her out, as much as we could, because we're still second years. We'd be going to third. Actually, well, not me. I just realized not me, but everyone else would surely help her out. Because, well, we move away because, I don't know. There's just something about Japanese love stories. There's a lot of, okay. I don't know what it is. There's so many love stories that have this thing where it seems more common from the love stories I'm aware of, and all the stories that have love in them. It's actually more common for the ones that have love in them, and it's probably because it's supposed to mostly be a plot device more than any sort of actual long-term thing. It's mostly supposed to be an emotional short-term plot device, which I don't agree with that, really. I feel like romance is something that could be explored in ways that most don't try to do, that I want to, and that I feel like I already have in things that I have written, and such. But words. But like, there's a lot of like stories that include love in them, or love stories even, that center around the idea that they develop feelings for each other, but then they have to move away, or then they have to go away. Like actually, like, marrying each other and having kids or whatever is less of a common outcome than just they have to part ways at the end, and that's so sad to me. I just wish that wasn't so much the norm. I'm just a very hopeless romantic, I'm so leaning hard in that direction that it literally destroys me inside when that's the only like end that's like the only end for them. Like, it's always played up for dramaticness, although there are all sorts of stories where it's left ambiguous as to whether they actually become, like now granted, a lot of times it's like, okay, they move away and then they might be able to meet back up together in the future and marry or what have you. But I don't know, it's just like actually staying with your lover the entire time is so much less of a common thing than, I have to go away, but then we might see each other again, or I have to go away and we won't. Like, why is that so common? If anyone knows, let me know. Because these games also always do that, but that's also a byproduct of, for some fucking reason, you're never just already in the town that you lived in from birth, right? You always, in Persona games, for some fucking reason I don't understand, I really wish there's a Persona game, I really hope there's a Persona game in the future where you just play in the place you grew up in, please, so that I can make sure that I actually end up staying with my waifu, please. But like, you always move to the town, right, for a year, period. Now, okay, it sort of makes sense considering every game takes place over a year, but you could literally just be like, this happened over a year. It doesn't have to be, you just moved there for 1 year for whatever reason, and then you have to move back somewhere else. Why? Is it just the trope that they just decided they should follow because it's what people expect now. I hope that there's going to be a future Persona game or Persona-esque games, and if I have the ability in the future, I would love to make a Persona-esque game where you just stay in the, it takes place in wherever the protagonist grew up. And you know all these people, and you've known them your whole life, and you just stay there afterward too. Why does it have to be you move away? It doesn't have to be like that, and I hate that for several reasons. I'd rather the protagonist not have to part with everyone he spent a year bonding with so much. That's the main reason, because these games are all about bonding with people. Is there like a thematic reason, though? Because I can there's definitely a lot of good story stuff with that. It's just, again, I'm a hopeless romantic, and I'd also rather the protagonist just be able to stay with these people that he grew to love and be friends with so much. Instead of have to leave at the end of every game. Stop that. Just let him just, not have to move away at least. Anyway. School. I believe in you, Futaba. To be honest, I really do want to go back. Do you think I'll be able to? See, okay. My first thought is to say if we work together. But I don't want to say that because that implies that she can't do it herself. I think she can. It's just, again, it would be a lot easier if I helped her. So, want me to help?
Really?
Of course I do. You'd better not go back on your word. Aw. I'm gonna do my best. I believe in you, Futaba! Okay, that was also the correct choice. It seems, because I got blips. Ooh, I should make a promise list. My mom used to have me do that all the time. She'd write all my goals, do that all the time. She'd write all my goals for the month, like cleaning the house or running errands for her. I'm really proud of Futaba that she can just talk about her mother like this. That really shows growth. That kind of hit me there. It's like, she's just talking about her mother, without tearing up or getting really all about it. And that's really inspiring to me. Then when I'd finish one, she'd mark it off with a big stamp. She always used to write comments too. Those were the best. She's just reminiscing like it's someone that didn't even die. And God, that takes so much strength to be able to do that, I'm sure, for her. Good job, Futaba. Oh, and I once finished all my goals. And once I finished all my goals, she would take a day off to work to spend time with me. Aww. See, she's not even getting down about this while remembering her mother. That's so... Good job, Futaba. I'm tearing up. I'm so proud of her. It's decided then. I'm gonna make a promise list. Time to get my ideas ready. Heck ye, Futaba! She's so hype about this. I'm so hype about her. See, again, I just... Helping her out, like... This... She actually reminds me of some friends I have that I try to help out because I've understood... I understand that they're often some younger people I meet online that have these kinds of issues, and I've helped a few of them already because I get it, Alright, so these are my promises. 1. Go somewhere with lots of people. Getting used to big crowds is key. 2. Go to school. I want to see what the inside of a normal high school looks like. 3. Learn about my generation. I definitely need more info. Yeah. You're definitely intelligence-wise so ahead of the curve, Futaba is, and I think they wrote her very well in this way. She's so intelligence-wise ahead of the curve, and also just generally so closed off from anything other than whatever she, for whatever reason, immersed herself in on the internet, and a lot of it was related to her mother's research, and was learning things and playing games and etc. 4. Have a normal conversation with a stranger my age. How's that? Sounds good to me.
Settled.
I'm not setting a deadline for this, by the way. I want to try and finish all of them someday. You're gonna have to help me, though. I'll work even harder with my navigation in return. Yai! I can sense Futaba's trust in me. Yai! Memento scan. Chance to fully map a floor of mementos when entering that floor. Very nice.
Alright.
Your Hermit Confidant is increased to rank 2. Very nice. You will now earn more EXP from Arcana Burst when fusing personas of the Hermit Arcana. Futaba can now use Memento Scan. So, if I finish all the promises, do you think I could have a reward? I know it's kind of weird to ask, but having a reward waiting at the finish line will totally push me onward. Anyway, I got this. I'm kind of exhausted from making the list, so tomorrow. I got this tomorrow. And yeah, that's another thing. I think she's also a highly sensitive person. Because she clearly put a lot of thought into that list. Clearly. I mean, duh. That's a very, very, very concise, well thought out list. That is very good measurable goals. That is exactly what you need, I've noticed, in order to really measure that kind of a thing. And also, this is a really good example of how anyone can make goals to better themselves. This is a very good example of what works. I promise you, because I use a similar technique for myself, and that's part of why I was able to start doing this even. Anyway, tomorrow. I got this tomorrow.
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna make a hedgehog and roll out of here. Roll out of here. I wonder how it's interesting how we don't even need to get to tell her our reward. And I think that's left ambiguous. Because her relationship with us is supposed to be left ambiguous. Because you could take that either as like, oh, we're just going to do something nice for her, or like, she wants us in bed, or to kiss her or something, you know? Because both are possible, depending on if you want to romance her or not, I guess. I really feel like this could, a lot of her subtext especially could be taken in a romantic way, or not. It's very interesting. I think that's a deliberate and smart choice on top of the on the designers. And again, I feel like, but again, I need to keep reiterating this. Whilst I feel like, again, you could take it either way, I feel like it really, really seems to be leaning in the she's into you direction, romantically, you know. But, you know, that's not my headcanon, so that's just not how it works in my game, as far as I'm concerned. I love that, by the way. And I just realized that's a Sonic reference. So many game references. I love her. Futaba went home. Hoi! It is I! Hoi? Hold on. Hold the phone. Is that an Undertale reference? Well, it's not spelled the same way. But I really do wonder if it might be anyway. Thanks for spending time with me today, Da. Taking out the promise list brought back memories of it when I worked on it with my mom. Hey, if I finish the promise list and I start going to school, do you think it'd make Sotaro happy? I bet it will. Right? Okay, it's another reason I gotta work at... Oh my god, she's so wholesome. I love her and Sotaro's relationship. He's a really good stepfather. Like, really, really good. No, stepfather isn't the right word. Guardian. Guardian's the word. Because, you know, he's not married to her mother, and he couldn't be because she's dead. Anyway. I wanted to think of something I could do for Sotaro, but that's all I got for now. But first I gotta finish the promise list. Doing this alone would be, like, omega hard. Like trying to solo a final boss. Yeah, she's definitely like an MMO player, which is really interesting. Because, in my experience, MMOs and multiplayer games cause me so much anxiety that while I love playing them, I can't really be consistent about them. And you kind of have to be in order to really, A, earn anyone's respect on there and not be treated like a total noob, especially if you're someone like me who learns slow. And B, you know, you miss opportunities, you miss events, you know. So I don't play MMOs anymore. And sometimes I'll hop on to match-based multiplayer games, but, and you know, it's not, you know, I can't be consistent about them. Single-player games are where it's at for me. generally, but I still enjoy multiplayer from time to time. But I cannot... It seems like she plays a lot of online games, which, I find interesting, because I find it odd that she would be able to deal with the kind of assholes that are on the internet, being her. You know, clearly more than me, I think, because she makes a lot of references. But I might just be reading into this way too much, and it's really just there because she's the game reference character. And they don't really mean this as she plays MMOs. She might play more single-player games than anything. She might just be the game reference character. And, you know, they're just trying to write a reference into everything and not really... You know, because again... But, you know, I bring this up because, in my experience, playing a multiplayer game, playing a single-player game are such different experiences, and because I have social anxiety, like, really acute social anxiety, playing multiplayer games really fucking mess with that anxiety. Especially because it goes back to old traumas when I was a kid, playing World of Warcraft, and people were complete assholes to me. But anyway... But now I got you in my party. I'm counting on you. Oh. So yeah, I'm stoked. Let's start Fandom Quest 4 chapters of the... Hold on. Is that a Dragon Quest reference? Because I'm not sure what Dragon Quest 4 is named. Or it might be another series. Hold on. Let me look at what Dragon Quest 4 is named real quick.